Shout out to, well, I don't want to say their name because their whole name was attached to it because they follow me on the community app. So I'm gonna just use their initials TC for sending me this story. And by the way, if you are getting notifications from me through the community app, you can send me stories through that. However, it might have your actual name attached to it. So I'll just abbreviate it because I know many people don't want their government name out there, which is completely understandable. But that is your option. However, if you still want to send me stories through the email or through social media, if you follow me on my social media platforms, you can do that as well. But anyway, we're here to talk about how yet another black, I guess you could say, figure, cop or otherwise, has yet again saved the day by doing something, I guess you can say, smart, but something I guess that was apparently too cowardly for his palm-colored constituents to do themselves. So this person's name is Tarik Khalid or Khalid Johnson. And they say he's a Capitol Police officer. And if you notice in the picture right here to the left, he has a red cap on. Well, he has on a Make America Great Again cap on. And the reason why he did it is not because he was out there in support of what was going on, but they said that he did that in order to rescue his fellow officers during the invasion on the Capitol. So I'm going to go ahead and read this article and see what other context they give us. A black Capitol Police officer who was suspended after being photographed wearing a red Make America Great Again cap while on duty defending the Capitol on January 6th says he did so in order to blend in with the crowd to save his fellow officers from danger. My thing is this: would his other fellow officers done the same thing for him? That's just what I would like to know. That's why a lot of black people have an issue when other black people willingly go out there and they save the lives of others with the risk of their lives being put in danger, which in this case, at that point in time, that could have been anybody. But no one does the same for us. This is the second time from this one incident that this has actually happened. You know, I did the story about the guy last week who led them away from the Senate room. And now we have this guy right here. The Journal reported that the officer identified as Lieutenant Tarik Khalid Johnson, who is a registered Democrat and has voted in the Democratic primaries in Maryland, has told his co-workers in recent days that he put on the cap to win the trust of protesters to get through the crowd and try to rescue officers who were trapped inside the Capitol. The Journal said that his efforts to get officers out of the building allowed the other police inside of the Capitol to get close to the entrance to prevent more people from going inside. Video footage captured by Florida filmmaker Rico Lastarza and posted to YouTube shows Lieutenant Johnson wearing a MAGA cap, apparently masquerading as a Trump supporter to form a connection with a small group of protesters. We're getting beat up, but the people who didn't vote for him, they're laughing at us, he says, before asking them to help him get inside to get the trapped officers out of the Capitol. The footage then shows Johnson handing over his bullhorn to the protesters who helped clear the path up the crowded Capitol steps to let Johnson get inside. The entrance to the Capitol was incredibly packed and crowded with rioters, but the group Johnson recruited successfully shouted to the crowd to make a hole and let the cops leave. After the group cleared a path at the entrance, several officers wearing body armor and face shields were seen exiting, with protesters and rioters thanking them as they left, while others chanted USA, USA. 5 people died in the day's violence, including Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick, who was beaten to death with a fire extinguisher. Several other officers suffered injuries as a result of the uprising. Now, one thing I have noticed so far is that when it came to the black officers that were there, notice that many of them were left unscathed. Not because they didn't want to go after them, but because many of them were smart and knew. It's almost like they knew almost like tactful ways. And I'm probably misusing that word, but they used very smart and intelligent ways to maneuver around this crowd. Like you had the one guy who was an Army infantryman who I talked about last week, who led that crowd away from the Senate room. Nothing happened with him. Then you had this guy who thought, okay, let me throw this cap on and lead them in so I could find a way to get the others out. But notice a lot of the other cops that were there that day that got injured or, killed were PC. But they like to say that we're stupid and we're dumb. Meanwhile, it's black cops out here who are the smart ones. It seems like they were able to handle this better than they were. But you know, whatever. But my question is, would they have done the same thing for him? Because they said he got suspended for even having the hat on, even though he was doing it to save other people. He wasn't wearing it just because he wanted to put it on that day or because he was a 45 supporter. Let me continue. The Capitol Police leadership has been harshly criticized for their failure to adequately prepare for the insurrection. 3 officers have been suspended in connection with the events of January 6th. Another Capitol Police officer told the Journal that he heard Johnson ask for permission over the radio to try to win over the rioters, some of whom were attacking black officers with racial slurs as part of his plan to rescue officers from inside, but no one responded to him. Now listen to that. They said they heard him on the radio asked for permission to win them over so he could save the other officers, but no one responded to him, and he still got suspended. His plan worked, but he still got suspended. Let's see. Okay, that was the end of the article. But yeah, while what he did was a noble thing to do, my only concern is that they would not do the same thing for him. Now, I don't know if he got his job back or not. This article actually came out on January 15th, and it is currently January 17th. So I don't know if he got his position back or not. He should have never lost it. But you know how they get down. And all I'm saying is this, like, it seems like black people always are coming to the rescue. They're always being the hero. They don't get anything in return. Like, ever. And if it is, it's usually trinkets of some sort. Like, I wonder what they're going to do for the cop that led the invaders away from the Senate. I wonder what they're going to actually do when it comes to him, when they actually find out, like, what he actually did and, like, his plan and everything like that. But notice, it's always someone with a black face that's being sent out there as the sacrificial lamb. How ironic, though, they're still breathing. They don't have any bruises or anything broken, and they're not deceased. But the cops that were bruised up or badly injured or deceased happen to be PC. Let that sink in. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. If you haven't done so already, please text the number that'll be pinned down in the comments below so you can receive notifications every time I upload a new video. And I'll talk to you in the next one.